Welcome to CUNY TV Presents, a series that celebrates the work of New York City filmmakers from local festivals and CUNY film schools. I'm Mitchell Lovell, director of the College of Staten Island Film Festival. In today's episode, we'll meet the three talented filmmakers who took part in our festival. They'll share insights about their films and their creative journeys behind them. John Rizzo is a Staten Island-based filmmaker who has worked as a crew member on numerous New York City productions, including Blue Bloods and Law & Order. He runs the media company 5x5 Films, producing short film. John is the director of the short film Solicitors. Stacey Petrov holds a master's degree in producing and has served as an assistant director, scriptwriter, and producer of character-driven narratives, such as Princess Lady. Stacey is the producer and writer of the short film Waiting Room. Zaenob Aremu-Bashir, known professionally as Joy Ayoka, is a film and stage actor, and as the founder of Take It Easy Inc., she specializes in photography, video, and social media marketing. Zaenob is the director of the short film Ramyun and Tangerines. All right, guys, we're really happy to have you here to celebrate your films that you made that was included in the film festival or part of this showcase. So we're going to dive in talking about your work, talking about your inspirations behind it, and also give the audience a behind-the-scenes look at the process. Let's start with John. You are the director of Solicitors. It's full of intrigue. Tell us about your film.
So Solicitors tells a story about a telemarketer who's down on his luck trying to make ends meet until a chance happening meeting with a door-to-door missionary changes his entire situation. So as the lines blur, we begin to wonder who's using who and to what causes.
And you have a message behind this film as well, right? What inspired you to tell that message?
It started with my grandfather, who was a door-to-door holiday card salesman. And I kind of took that idea and ran with how he was struggling in his own life. And on top of that, the film has kind of a strong relationship to the idea of toxic masculinity that comes with it and a form of like rugged individualism that tends to take advantage of people around them, which is what the two characters end up doing.
And I feel like your film also has some surreal elements in the narrative. Can you talk about what your influence might have been?
Yes, so my influences for this film, it is quite surrealistic, but funny enough, like the one film that really inspired this was The Cable Guy, Ben Stiller's film, Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick. And I think I took those two characters and kind of put them in this world. It feels like they're very similar in the way that they act with each other. Cable guy is entering this man's home and he won't leave, but they both want something. He wants free cable and the other guy wants a friend.
In the midst of it, there's a lot of laughs in this. You have two comedians that work on this project.
Oh, they're great.
Can you talk about the actors?
Yeah, so it's Scott Holt and Vin Brew, and Vin Brew is a musician and a comedian, and Scott Holt is a comedian as well. They're the funniest people on set, and it's a very kind of like small area. We shot on a summer day. It was hot, and they just kept the vibes perfected. You know, it was really great to have two really funny dudes in these kind of like serious and weird roles perfect like their kind of improvisational skills and all. It was really great to see them.
And what about the visual style for your film? Can you talk about that? How do you use that to help shine a light on these performances and these characters, but also set the tone for your film?
So visually, I wanted to keep the film as claustrophobic as possible. So I used a 4:3 aspect ratio. I tried to make sure that every scene was filled with faces or situations. And the black and white portion of the film comes from an inspiration of A Salesman, which is a Maisley Brothers film. It was about a door-to-door Bible salesman. So that's kind of pretty strong visual influence on what I was doing. And then there's also the film Wise Blood, which was kind of the religious aspect of it. It's a John Huston film, and it set the tone of how I was going to be able to make this film.
Let's take a look at a clip from Solicitors.
I don't think I can do that.
Come on, man, just please help me out.
If you're not really interested in his word, then I think I should mosey on my way.
What if I join your religion? You buy these knives, I'm in.
If I buy all of these knives, you'll join my religion?
Yes.
All right, buddy, I'm in. How much?
$800, that's it.
Okay, doke. This is for you.
What's up?
I sold the knives.
Great, congrats. Just, hopefully you can sell the rest.
Oh, no. I sold them all.
You sold all the knives that I gave you.
So Stacey, your film similarly pits two characters who might have opposing objectives and they're kind of pitted against each other in some way. Can you tell us about Waiting Room?
Sure, Mitchell. Waiting Room is the story about these two people that used to date, and they find themselves meeting in the waiting room of a doctor's office, and they have to recount these deep feelings that they've had during their breakup, before their breakup, and they use this opportunity to talk about them.
And the waiting room is an interesting place to be. Why do you choose that for your story here?
So the inspiration behind this story, my director actually had a nightmare that he met his ex in a waiting room and that he had to have this conversation with his ex. And so he was like, hey, this would be a great idea for a short film. Can we do it? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I really love stories that kind of talk about really interpersonal relationships and that keep it simplistic in terms of, you know, stunts, action, location, but really hone in and focus on the two characters. So I was automatically, yes, I'm in, yeah.
And to that point, dialogue is really critical for this film. What was it like writing for these two characters, and was it more difficult to write for one versus the other?
It was pretty easy writing for it, partially because I sourced from my own actual conversations I had with people. And I think that when I just approach any type of writing, I really like to step into the character's shoes. And so I'll write a piece of dialogue and focus on just one character and then kind of reread it and verbally say it out loud as the other character and seeing if it makes sense, if it sounds like their voice, if it's really coming from their place, and try to mentally live as that character. I mean, it was a little bit harder to write for the Tyler part, the male actor, because that kind of forced me to look at the other side of things, whereas the Hannah character, that was coming more from the stuff that I would personally say. But it was a great reflection on my past relationships as well.
Did you find any sort of resolve in writing this?
Yeah, a lot of my writing, I do find a lot of comfort and resolve because it's like these are conversations that you don't normally have with people and that you can't have with people. And so at least I find comfort in pretending to have them and then making actors say them and being like, yeah, play it out. But yeah, definitely writing has always been a form of therapy and yeah, just getting those feelings and emotions that I didn't get a chance to say out loud into like this little universe of when I do get to say it.
And for others to see it as well. Let's talk about casting. What was it like in the casting process, and what were you looking for from each of these two characters?
I think that one of the biggest things was, of course, performance. Some actors were overdoing it and some were underdoing it or not understanding the context or just the delivery because it is such a sensitive, specific relationship where it's these two people that they broke up, they have a reason for breaking up, but they still have love for each other at the end of the day. And so kind of juggling that where it's not coming from a place of hate, it's coming from a place of hurt. And even though at the end, you know, they still have that love, they might want to be together, but they know that at the end of the day, it's not good for them to be together. There's a reason they broke up. So it was kind of finding that delicate performance and then also seeing which actors complement each other with that. And yeah, we had a lot of people, a lot of great submissions, but at the end of the day, it was kind of, yeah, who was able to really work really well together in terms of that.
What is it like writing for a short format when you have a backstory that can go on for a series?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think part of it where you kind of have that hope of, you know, maybe this will turn into something big one day where I can write a longer format. But then at the same time, there's some peace that you have to leaving it in its own little section and just saying what needs to be said, saying, you know, not too much, not too little, and kind of saying your piece and leaving it and just giving that little snippet of the conversation. And then I think the other thing is that this story could be relatable with other people that have those complicated relationships, that have those what ifs we stayed together, or what if things went different, or what if I changed, or what if I whatever. And so sometimes making it too long dissolves it of that and can make it too much. So I think that this was kind of a sweet little perfect story that kind of just captures that one conversation, and the rest, not that it doesn't matter, but you know, in sense of message that we were trying to deliver with this story, I think that it was able to convey that.
Let's take a look at a sweet little perfect clip from Waiting Room.
I asked you to just talk to me. Just tell me what was going through your head. I was ready to work through it. I wanted to help, and you just shut me out.
But you wanted something I couldn't give.
And how do you know what I want?
Oh, Hannah, come on.
What? Then tell me. What is it that I wanted that you...
Family, marriage, kids, a f***ing house on the ranch, that whole commitment thing.
I never wanted any of that until you planted that idea into my head. And then when I started to want it, you didn't anymore. But you still went with it anyways.
You stop me at any point.
I tried to stop you at many points.
Then why'd you stay so long?
Because, I don't know, I got comfortable. I thought...
Yeah, you thought.
Thank you, Stacey, for showing us that work. And Zaenob, your work is equally emotional. It's about a gut-wrenching incident. Can you tell us about Ramyun and Tangerines?
Yeah, sure thing. So Ramyun and Tangerines is about a young woman who loses her little brother. He went missing for over a year, and she kind of has to figure out how to keep him alive through the things that he loved, namely through basketball. And even though she's making progress, something does happen to kind of stifle it, where she receives some really bad news. And she has to kind of learn, okay, well, how can I still grow and learn from these bad experiences while still being able to keep my brother's memory alive? Yeah, it is gut-wrenching, as you say.
You're telling a story essentially about grief, and there's a lot of ways that people can grieve. Was this based on a true story?
When I was making it, no, but in hindsight, yes. Our family friend lost her brother, and his favorite sport was basketball. And I didn't think about it until I finished making it, that I was like, oh my goodness, like this is probably based off of how we had to grieve together, because we lost him really abruptly.
And what do you want the audience to take away from this film?
Grief looks different with different people. For the character in the film, she kind of, I feel like, is in the time capsule almost, where, so the name Ramyun and Tangerines, it's from the things that her brother liked. So she kind of stays in the area of, well, if I do the things that he likes and I keep doing that, maybe I'll still feel some kind of peace or something that'll make me feel stable. But I think she learns that there's different layers to grief that kind of can propel you forward instead of making you stay stagnant.
This is an MOS film with a distinct visual style and editing style as well. Can you tell us about how you brought the emotion and the energy into this film?
You know, I'm directing it, but I'm also in it. I kind of had to make the pace in such a way where it doesn't feel as sad as the story is supposed to be. So with the visuals and with the way it's edited, I wanted something to kind of, when I'm watching it, I kind of want to see it and feel alive. Like, I feel like grief may make you feel very slow and dampened, but there's something beautiful about being able to grieve. You know what I'm saying? So with the colors and with the cuts, I feel like that's how it feels to kind of like suddenly just move through life and things kind of not knock you down per se, but kind of like catch you off guard. Yeah, and so the way that I like to edit my film is in like a very unexpected kind of quick cut ways that draw you in visually.
Fantastic. Thank you, Zaenob.
Thank you.
And now let's watch a clip from Ramyun and Tangerines.
Yes, sir, man. We're just like, I mean, it was a message that always pull up when I host.
Thank you, everybody, for sharing your films with us. We're so happy to have you as part of our film festival at CSI over the course of the years. And we're also happy to show your work here at CUNY TV. So let's take a moment and talk about our film festival. The College of Staten Island Film Festival, founded over 15 years ago, showcases student work from the Department of Media Culture. It is now a multi-screen event including emerging media, experimental film, and talent from the broader campus. With the involvement of our alumni network, the festival proudly sparks collaboration and creativity across the CSI community. And as alumni of this festival, I have questions for all of you. Let's start with John.
All right, great.
Because you actually were president of our film club in 2018, so you directed the film festival. And most recently, you came back as a judge.
Did, yes. That was
How have you seen the festival evolve? And what was it like for you?
So personally, College of Staten Island, like the film program itself means like the world to me, honestly, because it's the first like moment in my life where I felt there was a community of filmmakers that were all together and making things they wanted to make together. And it gave me a lot of, the festival itself gave me a lot of confidence to pursue and to go after this kind of dream I have that I'm still going after. Without the festival, I think I don't make the films that I make, and I don't have anywhere to show them, because Staten Island is very small. Well, it's a big borough, but it's a small community. So it feels like this is a hub for artists or for filmmakers, for everyone to like be able to show their work. So I thought I wanted to be a part of that, and being the film club president meant that I could help encourage club members, students to submit to the festival. I feel like the way this festival evolved was it was a very small showing of maybe like 15 films total. And as the years have gone by, it seems like it's been doubling every time. And that the students themselves have gotten even more creative in the ways that they tell their stories and also shoot them. The formatting, it ranges from animation to live action to documentary. And this last festival that I was judging, and we all had a big part of it, was I maybe tripled since the first festival I ever submitted to. It was 2 days of just amazing films by the students.
We're finding a lot of great work from students, across the board with all different kinds of stories now, and it's quite fascinating.
Yeah, I agree.
Zaenob, what has the festival done for you as a filmmaker?
Wow. It's done a lot. I remember when I first went to CSI, I was a little bit, I was like heading down a health track, like science. And then, I took a theater, they make you take those like courses so you graduate, so I just did one. And then from theater, I went to production, and then I was like, oh my gosh, there's a film festival. And for me, it was finding like-minded individuals, people that wanted to tell stories, strong narratives, experimental narratives, things that just kind of push you to be more creative and think outside of your own purview, So for me, the film festival kind of stretched me in such a way where I feel like I could meet like-minded individuals who have different stories to tell. So it was really powerful for me to connect that way.
And Stacey, if I recall correctly, you submitted work to our film festival in 2020 and in 2021. We couldn't meet in person, but what was the online edition of the festival for you?
It was interesting because it was the first film festival I've ever submitted to. And so the online version, it had its pros and its cons, where the pros were that you could just send a link to somebody to watch it, and it was more broad in that way. But then the cons, of course, was not being able to meet with people in person and really connect with them. But kind of I really agreed with what John was saying, where when I came to CSI, it's a huge school and it's a big commuter school where you go to class and then you just go home. But the film community inside of CSI is really small, and I was able to really build my community there, build my network, friends, and I finally found people that really shared the same passion and vision as me. And they weren't just, looking to get an education to just like have a job or make money, but they actually wanted to create and make something special and creative. And those are connections that I have to this day with those people. I cherish them so dearly, and I'm so happy whenever I see somebody make something new that goes somewhere or is part of a new team or is working on other things. And I think that kind of all stemmed from CSI Film Department and that little online film festival. And I think that also COVID changed film festivals in a sense, because now they are much broader, where you don't have to be there in person to see something, and you're able to still be part of it virtually. And I think that's great, just more exposure for the artists.
And I also want to hear from everybody, what are you working on right now? Where's your mind at, you know? We'll go around. John?
Well, I'm just working on shorts. I'm constantly working on shorts. Ideas that pop into my head. I have a notes page on my phone that's filled with nonsense. And I'm just gonna vibe and flow off of that stuff. Yeah.
Vibe and flow.
Yeah. And also ditto. I didn't realize I do that till you said it. I have like a notes like thing. I hear interesting dialogue on the subway, and I'm like, oh, that'll be great.
Yeah. Two people talking
Yeah,
said
like,
this
oh my
today.
God, this is, like, literally. But yeah, for me, I'm doing a bunch of like monologue stuff. I'm more acting based, so a lot of monologue things, scene work, which is fun for me actually. So it's on my YouTube.
We see the talent.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Confidence as well. Like
Really?
I could not do that.
Oh.
Yeah,
No way.
I do not go in front of the camera. Nope.
I don't know. I just do whatever.
What about you, Stacey?
I'm working on a couple of projects. A bunch of them are in post. I have a couple that are in the film festival circuit. I have a couple lined up. Fingers crossed. I was asked to work on a feature as an assistant director. So I don't know. Yeah, I could share more details about the projects, but that's kind of just leaving it,
Nice.
yeah, broad.
There you go.
Congrats on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds
got the call 2 days ago. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So with that, I want to congratulate all of you for fantastic work, and thank you for being part of CUNY TV Presents the College of Staten Island Film Festival. And I hope you enjoyed this fascinating conversation as much as I did. Coming up next, you can watch their films and other selections from the CSI Film Festival. Thank you for watching CUNY TV Presents, which you can also find on the CUNY TV YouTube channel and the CUNY TV app. And also, be on the lookout for our Filmmaker of the Month series on our CSI YouTube channel. Enjoy the show.